Good day and welcome to the Voice Online TV, bringing you the latest development across the country. First, the headlines. Stakeholders question legality of new press accreditation system. Government appoints British barrister to prosecute Jammeh-era crimes. JRA hits $7.7 billion seat, surpasses first quarter revenue target. In Boja, rearrest unlawful regrettable, says Attorney General. NAWEC launches mobile app for cash power water bill payments. Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital receives 14 million ward medical equipment donation. Civil servants urged to complete verification before April 18. Paul Colley, Medina United forward, emerges as key figure in JFF 1 division. Stakeholders question legality of newspaper system. The media stakeholders and civil society organization, CSO, partners have questioned the legality of government's proposed national press accreditation policy and broadcasting online content regulations. The stakeholders and their partners have come up with the questions during an emergency meeting held on Wednesday at the GPU Secretariat in Fajara. Presenting a brief on behalf of participants, GPU President Isaac Keita says the proposed national press accreditation policy seeks to establish a centralized system requiring journalists, freelancers, content creators, and social media users with significant public reach to obtain state-administered accreditation to access government events and journalistic functions. Observed that the board scope policy effectively transforms accreditation from a logistic access tool into a gatekeeping mechanism, determining who can gather, disseminate public information. According to her, the policy introduces a layered regulatory system under which journalists must maintain approval accreditation from the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, raising concerns about the institutional independence. The design of the system gives PURA and the Ministry authority to decide who is permitted to practice journalism, she said, adding this could undue pressure on journalists and limit their ability to scrutinize public institutions. She further noticed that the policy expands PURA mandate beyond broadcast licensing and spectrum management to include regulation of individual journalists' online expression and accreditation systems. Data argues that neither the Information and Communication Act 2009 nor the Constitution authorized the state to control who may practice journalism through registration or accreditation schemes administered by the executive. We'll go for a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the Voice Online TV. Under Broadcasting and Online Content Regulations 2026, new version stakeholders expressed concern over provision allowing the minister to designate any online service, platform, or individuals as designated online content creator provided. They said this could extend regulation to bloggers and individuals without their consent, describing it as overly broad and potentially unconstitutional. Participants also noted that although the regulations reference constitutional safeguards, such as freedom of expression and media independence, these were not constitutionally reflected in provisions granting PURA powers to remove content and impose sanctions. They further pointed out the absence of judicial review or independent appeal mechanism for designation decisions, leaving affected individuals or platforms with rescue. Now, sport news. Paul Colley, Medina United forward, emerges as a key figure in GFF Division 1. The Medina United forward Paul Colley, has emerged as one of the standout performers in the 2025-2026 GFF Division 1 season, drawing attention for his consistent goal scoring and overall impact on the field. Colley's development include a period in the United Kingdom where he trained and underwent trials with Nottingham Forest. Observers noted his technical skills, sharp movement, and finishing ability during the time, express a contribution to his growth as a player. Editorial: Press freedom at risk rethinking the Gambia's accreditation policy. Media stakeholders and civil society organizations raised the alarm over the government proposed national press accreditation policy and broadcasting online content regulations 2026, what is framed as regulation risky, becoming a tool of control. The proposed policy would require journalists, freelancers, content creators, and influential social media users to obtain state-administrated accreditation. From far, a logistic tool, the centralized power over who can report limits scrutiny of public institutions, was the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, and the minister will decide who qualifies as journalists, undermining the independence and exposing reporters to undue pressure. Online content regulations are regularly concerning broad powers to designate online content providers, could drag bloggers and ordinary citizens under oversight without consent resources. Provisions allowing PURA to remove content and suspend registrations lack independent review and risking curtailing fundamental freedoms. Even with claims that registration is optional, journalists and regulated media houses would still be forced to register, creating direct pressure. Existing laws do not authorize such control, and disciplinary powers should rest with independent bodies, not laboratories. These proposals contradict regional and international standards, including the African Commission's Declaration of Freedom of Expression, which emphasizes independent oversight. The government must rethink these measures and ensures frameworks protect rather than restrict press freedom. Press freedom is not a privilege, it is a right that states safeguard and not gatekeep. A quick recap of the headlines. Stakeholders question legality newspapers, accreditation system, government appoints British barrister to prosecute Jamie era claims, GRA hits 7.7 billion, surpasses first quarter revenue target, civil servants urged to complete verification before April 18, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital receives $13 million worth of medical equipment donation, NAWEC launches mobile app for cash for water bill payments, Paul Colley Medina United Forward emerges as key figure in JFF Division 1. Now we move to Point newspaper. The headlines: Gambia moves to enforce fuel quality standards. JFF Appeals Committee VP contest sanctioned against Senegal. Foreign newspaper. US and Iran agree 2-week ceasefire as Israel continues to strike Lebanon. Alarm over plans to let state decide who can practice journalism. Standard newspaper. NOP hits back at my party. Swede experts meet ahead of Banjul First Ladies Forum. That's all for now. Do stay tuned with our program.